Patron, take them away.
Good morning and welcome to Market Watch with me, Scruff. It's currently just after 7 o'clock on the 27th of July, and what I like to do in these videos is give you a heads up of the economic news that may spike or turn the market, and also tell you what the strongest and weakest currencies of the day are to maybe help you with a watch list. So let me flick this over and we shall have a look. Now currently there is a little bit of news coming in as we speak. It's marked as high impact, but it's not quite as brutal as you think. What makes it a little bit more brutal is the fact it's coming in on the European Open just before London Open as well. So that move might be exaggerated slightly because of the noise that it's already in. But I don't think it's going to be as big as what we think. In fact, let's have a quick look. No, that is that. It's not that big a move at all. It's 6173. Not really. There's not a great deal going on with it. But what they do is they give a good indication of what the market's going to try and achieve throughout the day. And what I mean by that is, if it starts turning the market, then it'll probably stay in that direction. But as you could see, it wasn't really doing anything. So there was no major impact on the market. Now, through the rest of the morning, there is very little, up to around 1:15 this afternoon, where again, it goes back to euro. So this afternoon and through this morning, I'd be watching the DAX with close eyes, and also euro dollar, because what will happen is the market will set itself up for this afternoon based on what happened this morning. So be very wary, not wary, but just be mindful that there's going to be a spike at 1:15 on those two markets. Then run down through the rest. As you come into 1:30, there's not a great deal of news that can really spike the market. Again, these are durable good orders, and the growth rate at 1:30, there'll be a small flurry, but not a huge flurry, a little bit like what you've just seen. So again, what you do in a situation like that, or what I would do, I mean, personally, I don't like the trade news anyway. My advice is always stay out of it. But if you are compelled to do it, make certain your stops in a safe place or pull them in so it'll take you out the equation quickly if you're wrong. Okay, they're your two options. But the best option is just don't trade it in the first place. You do have to excuse me if you've missed me the last couple of days. I have been incredibly ill. I'm still not firing on all cylinders, but we'll battle through it. We'll get there. And as you can see, the rest of the day, it's pretty low for today. So it's quite a slow news day today. Nothing really to worry about. There's the odd ripple and the odd spike, but nothing to sing home about. Now, as we look over onto the strengths, now this is quite a good sheet that I use every single day. What I use it for is to judge which is the strongest and weakest currency. And what that does is it doesn't tell me direction, but it does tell me movement, and it tells me something to look at. Now, at the moment, we see in the Aussie is incredibly strong, and from the last data sample, it's up 21 points. Now, that is significant because it's going in a singular direction. But what's also interesting is what I really can't figure this one out, to be honest. The US dollar is just low constantly. It's been on the floor for so long. It can't stay that way forever, obviously. But what you can see is it's actually losing ground. It lost ground since yesterday. And you pitch that against Aussie dollar, which the sheet has pulled out as the strongest contender, which is here. So it's Aussie's the strongest, that's the weakest, and it's put it in as sort of position 1, which means it's the strongest contender. But not only that, on this side, you might be able to see it fully for my head. There's a list of the majors here, and again, it's pulled out the Aussie dollar here. So there's 3 decent markets on the majors it's pulled out. Aussie dollar, Euro JPY, and US JPY. Now, the way I would approach this is I look at US JPY on an afternoon. I look to trade it after 12 o'clock. It's more a habit that I'm in than any other reason. And that's fine. So I'm happy with that. But let's have a quick look. So it's Aussie dollar. If I look down here to see where it is, it'll tell me which chart to read, which is the 1 hour, which is represented up there. This is all based off like a standard ATR over the kind of last quarter or so. And it helps me understand how the market's working, but it also helps me target. Now, if I flick this over, I'll just widen this up a little bit. Take these off. So we can have a look at this German chart. That is the move that high impact was trying to show. Now, if we look at this, how big was it? There we are, 20 pips. All right, 20 pips in 5 minutes is quite a bit, but not on the DAX in an open. In fact, it's quite small. Okay, so sometimes just because something says it's red letter news doesn't mean to say the market will throw as badly as you think. The problem with it is we don't know till it's announced how far the market will move. So it's best to err on the side of caution. And that's why I say stay out of it. Now, if I am to look at Aussie dollar and give an idea of what's going on with this. Now, when I looked at this earlier on, this is primed to move up to the upper side. We have this section here, which it's working itself against. It's currently gone up to a key level and pushing back. Now, if it is pushing back, where's it going to push back to? Possibly down here to then move back up again. So if you drop this down into an hourly for a chart to start working out how that would be, well, there's a solid move. It's come down and then it's made it again. You can get a fib, take it from the base of the last move, drop it onto this one. There's your 50% that it would come to. This would be the buy zone around this area here to then come further back to where it's come from and beyond. So if I was to look to go beyond the break of here, if I put an extension on this, just so that I can kind of highlight something for you, put that across onto there, that will be a target area about here. Just drop that into blue. There you go. So up a target, entry in and around this level. If it breaks through, you can average all the way down to here and you'd be pretty safe. But looking on this, I'd be looking to buy it. Okay, so that's kind of roughly what I'll be doing. I kind of do a reward basis on these videos. I do them every single day for the guys in the Discord, but for the next one to be public, if there's 75 likes, the next one will be public, and that's the way we do it. So it's kind of reward for support. Happy days. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.